All right, let's go. If you're tired of not feeling fit, tired of just not having to focus, tired of just not having the life that you desire. This is your place to be. I'm Jason Yarusi, and today we're talking about the water tower. For a little over a decade, I lived in New York City. And when you walk around, you can get lost just within the noise, the streets, the pace, the progress. But if you ever stand out and take a look, you'll see all these tenement buildings. And on top of these tenement buildings stands these massive structures, the water towers. And I really just love the symbolism of the water tower so much that in 2006, 2007, I actually started a brewery in New York City. It was the first brewery to get approved for, as a little side note, the brewery license in New York City for almost 80, 90 years, which was a cool little fact. Well, we ended up making our tap handle, right, the top of our tap handle, a water tower, right, that had ACBC on it, which stood for Alphabet City Brewing Company, and that had ACBC on it, and it was a water tower that almost looked like a beer mug. It had beer coming out of it. What we loved about the water tower was just the symbolism of it. Because when you look at a water tower, it has this quiet strength. It just holds, right? It's just there in front of you. It carries thousands and thousands of gallons of water, so people can just go on and live their life. No noise, no drama, no ego. It's just there doing its thing. And, you know, most of us, we spend our days not standing strong, being engaged in the noise, bringing the drama, leaking energy, and letting our attention go, and lacking discipline. The water tower just reminds us, you know, strength, it doesn't need this massive audience. It just needs purpose. In your life, have you lost the purpose that you're serving? Are you constantly in the noise? Are you constantly bringing the chaos? Or are you standing elevated? The water tower stands elevated, not because it's special or loud, because it's higher. It's put in a part where it has a standard. Your habits, your mindsets, your expectations, everything has to flow better when you make better decisions, when you keep better relationships, when you look for better opportunities, when you have better results. The elevation, it creates pressure, right? Because that's how the water tower flows because of the height of it. It has a flow to it that creates pressure, that creates movement, that creates change. Are you elevating yourself out of the noise? Are you allowing yourself to just be pulled down by all these little things? You know, I like to think of it as that, you know, many of us were walking around and it's like we have this Chihuahua like constantly pecking at our ankles here, and we're letting that just disturb us. I once heard it that, you know, a lion is not taken back or set aside by the mosquitoes that's biting at its back. And many of us were walking around with these little mosquitoes, and that being, you know, these little aggravations or nuisances or things that don't really matter, and we're allowing us to just distort our day and taking us away from what actually means and what actually gives us purpose and what actually adds to us. We need to use the pressure to put it upon ourselves to be better, to, you know, not only in our decisions, our relationships, but just to look at the opportunities that we have in front of us and not constantly look at what is lacking. The water tower is so incredible because it has capacity. It has more capacity than any person needs or what it could serve. Because why? It's when life hits and when demand spikes or things go sideways, it's there. It's reserved. It's set aside. You need to have in your life the ability to have preservation, to have the ability to have the discipline, the resilience, the patience, the fitness, the financial stability when times go sideways, when things are rough, when you get sick. Most people, we want to flow without building that capacity. We want to go forward without actually having reserve. But the capacity, it determines your future. You don't go out there and say, you know what, let me just build a strong body the second you get sick. Let me go out there and deal with my emotions when you have a bad breakup. Let me go figure out my finances the second that your finances are ruined. You have to build into the better opportunity, build into the better situations. It's just, you can't just build for today. You have to build for tomorrow. It's building not for when something goes wrong. It's building for if and when you are needed. Live 100 is about preparing yourself for your future, preparing yourself for what's ahead, preparing yourself for what stands tough. The water tower is not for just one person, it's for everyone. The decisions you're making are not just for you. The decisions you're making, they affect your spouse, they affect your kids, they affect your coworkers, they affect your employees, they affect people that you socialize with. And you can either be that line of noise, of drama, of ego, or you can be the one that stands tall, that elevates yourself, that has the capacity to take on more, that stores the strength for when it's needed, that serves others, whether it's called for or not. Live life like a water tower, strong, elevated, and ready when it matters. Live 100 today because you will be needed and tested. And what serves is how you carry forward. Will you be ready? Let's do this.